Denver did the impossible again. They knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs in a thriller. And Wil Lutz did what kickers dream about, a 35-yard game winner as time expired to lift the Broncos to a 22-19 victory. ESPN.com, this one had everything you want late November. Grinding defense, a low-scoring slog that felt like playoff football, and a walk-off drive that boiled down to a handful of clutch plays. The Broncos, now 9-2, pushed their winning streak to 8 games and seized firm control of the AFC West. Meanwhile, Kansas City's once comfortable perch atop the division looks shakier than it has in nearly a decade. ESPN.com Bo Nix didn't need to be heroic, he just needed to be precise. With the clock bleeding and the game tied, Nix threaded a 32-yard strike to Troy Franklin that flipped field position and set up Lutz's last kick. It was a patient, professional finish. Dink and dunk when you must, then pull the trigger when the window opens. That 32-yard play was the dagger that made the walk-off possible. ESPN.com. Credit the Broncos defense, too. They bottled up Patrick Mahomes in the clutch, generating key stops and hurries, including a third-down sack that forced a Chiefs punt late and gave Denver one last chance. Denver's rush and pressure schemes repeatedly made Mahomes uncomfortable on third downs, and that defensive toughness is why the Broncos are suddenly the AFC's most dangerous surprise. ESPN.com. This wasn't a shootout. It was a chess match. The first half ended 6-6, both teams trading field goals and feeling each other out. Jaleel McLaughlin's short touchdown run gave Denver a mid-game spark, and Kareem Hunt answered for Kansas City to keep it close. But when the stakes rose, Denver found the stops they needed and the one play they couldn't afford to waste. ESPN.com, what matters going forward? The Broncos now sit 2 games clear atop the AFC West and are building legit momentum. That's a huge swing in a division the Chiefs have dominated for years. Kansas City still has chances. They've got the resume, the coach, and Mahomes, but they're suddenly in must-win territory more often than we've seen in the Andy Reid era. ESPN.com takeaways? First, Denver's defense isn't a fluke. It wins the ugly games, and the Broncos have a knack for making the big play when the clock gets small. Second, Bo Nix is maturing into a closer who doesn't try to do too much. He picked the right targets at the right time and delivered. Third, the Chiefs will have to figure out how to reclaim identity and urgency fast if they want to avoid an unexpected wildcard slog. FieldLevelMedia.com for the highlight reel. Lutz, calm and professional, made 5 field goals on the day and capped it with the game winner, the very definition of clutch. For the narrative, Denver is no longer a curiosity. They're a real contender, and their defense-first, grinded-out brand of football is paying massive dividends. ESPN.com, if you're tracking playoff maps, mark this as a turning point. The Broncos aren't just winning games, they're taking the division, and they're doing it by leaning on defense, smart quarterback play, and flawless special teams in the moments that matter. The Chiefs, they've got to respond and fast because Denver just made one of the bolder statements of the season. ESPN.com.